That is the journey we have seen it in last 50 years, and today we are seeing the reality coming true, and therefore there are certain questions that we have to answer. Before that, I will go through some of the statistics just to know where we are now. I will classify the robots into two class. One, hardware robo and software robo. This may be an artificial division, but it's very important, because the second is very, very important from the point of view of the impact that will make on India or low-income nations, and that is why I am talking about software robo and a hardware robo. Mostly we are familiar, and image of robo is that of hardware robo. So we think of hardware robo, and hardware robo essentially have three kinds of application. One is in manufacturing, and that is where we have seen a lot of patenting, a lot of inventions, and a lot of commercializations. Automobile has been on the forefront of those innovations when it comes to what I call it as a manufacturing automation. It is also in the constructions, it is also in the mining. The second application which is evolving is home applications. In the home also it is finding certain applications, and the homes are also getting automated. And the third category is the service categories, where healthcare, including the surgeries, the open heart surgery, there is a lot of use of robo. Whether it is fully automated or semi-automated, it's a degree of semantics, but their presence is felt there. Education, surveillance, drones, now you have cars, transportations. These are all the affected industries which are essentially service industries where hardware robots are used. Now I talk of software robots, and that is where what used to be done by our BPO industry. With the evolution of internet, what was possible to be done on site could be done remotely. And that is how the India benefited in 2000s by BPO industry, where instead of doing certain things on the location, with the advent of the internet, it could be done offshore. So instead of onshore, it is offshore. Now a layer is sitting on that. It's not an hardware robo, but an independent software supervising this, what human were doing it. So everything has been converted, that the algorithm with which the humans were using that data, analyzing that data, responding to that data, is now getting into what is called as software robo. And that layer sits in, and again, you don't have to have the offshore. So whatever offshore jobs are there, that can be done now onshore with much reduced cost, because the motivation to do the offshore was cost reduction. And if that is not there, what Trump cannot do, the software robots will be able to do it. And that will be the greater motivation even for the industry. Whether Trump or no Trump, they would have done that kind of shift from BPO, taking back to the onshore. So that is something which is the software robots can do it. Its application is banking, finance. Even it can act as an advisor to you, that what kind of investment you would like to make it. It will provide you the options. Of course, the emotional decisions, you will have to take it. Healthcare, customer service, business processes, insurance related decisions. These are all the software robots will take over. Just to give certain figures, in 1990, there were 70,000 robotic arms. They were shipped all over the world. In 2014, the figure has gone to 230,000. The total size of the industry, robotic industry, and essentially the industry what I am talking is not software industry or software robo, but hardware robots. It is 29 billion 2014, and the estimate is that it will go to 33 billion USD. and there is another estimate which talks about 50 to 62 billion euros in 2020. The service robo, again hardware robo, service robo is on a much lower scale. It is 1.7 billion, but it will also take off exponentially. And as I say that the essential use of this robo sector-wise has automobile 39%. Of these 230,000 units that has been shipped in 2014, 39% is used in automobiles, electronics and electricals 20%, metals and machinery 9%, chemicals, rubbers, plastics 6%, food and beverages 4%, and pharma is only 1%. So that's the distribution sector-wise of this and this one. Why I am saying is that we must know how it will impact the social welfare. The welfare can be seen from 2 points: the earning capabilities and the capability to do things what you would like to do. I always believe that 80 to 90% of the people who work for their daily living is more of a compulsion. But there are few elites, few fortunate people, and I consider myself to be that fortunate. We not only earn, we enjoy our job. But those fortunate are many less. And that is why we find people looking for watches at 6 o'clock to go home. If it is going to the office, oh, I had to go to the office. I think if these jobs goes to the robo, it's good. But will these 80% people find jobs what they will enjoy? That is a question that we have to see, and I am talking purely from the social angle. But there are many good things about the welfare. What is that welfare? One part, probably what you do not like, you will employ humanoid to do that. And you would focus on what you have in nature, what is natural to you. Many of us have certain things natural to us, where we are inclined to do certain things more productively, more enjoyingly, and that is what you will search for, and probably you will do it. This is a very positive angle I am talking of. But there are many people who will see it more from the negative angle, half-filled glass, half-empty glass. So I am looking more from half-filled glass perspective. The second aspect is that more elderly people, disabled people will be benefited to take care of it. They will be supported better than what they are supported today. In terms of safety, more dangerous jobs, more unsafe jobs can be done by robots. Particularly today, this is what I see when I started my career. The painting used to be most hazardous job. I used to see in my painting shops, I was hating myself to go near the painting shop, and there were poor chaps who were working 12 hours in that painting shops. Today robots are doing it, and that's a great welfare measure that the robots are performing, and I see that great opportunity from that perspective. Enviro-friendly, you will have many equipments which are more enviro-friendly rather than what we have today, diesel guzzling cars and other things. And so these were the welfare aspects of it. Remote operations. Today we have seen in questions where there is an internet and software related operations are there. We have shown offshoring. That offshoring also can happen for hardware related operations. Some actual operations is happening in US. I am sitting here, I am controlling with my skills. I should be able to do the surgery remotely. Those are possible scenario. I see it, that what was not possible remotely doing, certain things where the physical presence was there, that extension is available there. So if the skill is available here, you are able to manage demand and supply beautifully. Otherwise, it is very difficult to manage that demand and supply. That's something which is positive. But what is negative? It's a threat to the job. The low income and moderate income nations, they will see the jobs moving from them to the rich nations, because there was a motivation, the cost. Those will be gone away because the cost will come down, and therefore they are the losers from that perspective. But that is something that's a challenge or that's a threat. And it will also eliminate, as I talked to you, a lot of skilled or semi-skilled jobs. So they will have to innovate themselves to find out what better jobs can they do, what is the opportunity available to them. So this is the perspective on the social impact side. Now I come to the IP side, and I am sure I am crossing my time. So some figures, particularly the onshore job, what used to take about $100,000 per year, offshore took to, these are the figures I have taken from the publications, $38,000 per year. And with these software robots, the estimated cost is likely to be about $13,000 per year. So there is a great motivation to shift those jobs. Patent filings, there have been 4 leading countries who have been filing patents since 1950, but the pace increased from 1990. Today, Japan counts for 35%, US and China about 35%, Germany 29%, and about 1 to 1.5%. Maybe I have exceeded more than 100%. But that is the range of the patent filing in the robotics and humanoid. Ravi talked about iRobo. That is the only one company who had about 5 kinds of litigations or 5 different litigations. But I am talking of who will own the patents. And there is a case law, particularly a photographer's camera was snatched by the monkey, and the monkey took the photograph. This case went to the court, and the court decided that the photographer never, in that case, will not be the owner of this. At least half part is decided whether the monkey will own that photograph or not. That issue never came before the court. So we don't know how things will go. But tomorrow the robot takes the photograph, where the copyright will lie. That's a question. And that we can analyze, we can give different perspective, but it will be stargazing. And definitely the audience here will have to contribute in making that jurisprudence. We cannot shy away from that. Japan and Korea, they are considering the giving the rights to such inventions, whether it is copyright or whether it is design or any products produced by 3D printing under the humanoid control, could be basically patented there. But if I look at the Indian law, today it says the inventors is defined true and first inventors. And it is considered, from the contextual reading, it has to be natural person. If it is a natural person, then can a humanoid be given in patent? Can he be considered as inventor? If that be so, there is another perspective. Why do we give the patent? To motivate, to do certain things there. But if humanoids are inventing it, do we need to motivate them? Then we will not need motivation, and therefore the very premise on which the inventions are rewarded by patent rights, is it necessary to do it? The whole thing collapses on that. Those are the fundamental questions will come to the fore, and we will have to take those hard decisions. But what we have to see on the positive side of it and the negative side of it. With that, I will stop here, and probably we will have the second round. Thank you very much.
So